All right, three things. Commercial real estate is getting worse. I'm going to show you that here in London, you can buy for less than building. And I'm going to show you that wage growth in the US is still not enough to keep pace with inflation. All right, first things first, London is a test market town. What happens in London is like a test of what's going to happen across the country. Right now, our downtown office vacancy rate is 30%. It's a little bit more than 30%. That means 1 in 3 office buildings is completely empty. But wait, the news is a little bit worse. About 100,000 square feet of office space came onto the market in downtown London in the last 3 months, driving up the total largely due to businesses looking to sublet their offices to other users. So as we fight wage growth, as we push people out of work, people who have office space now need less office space, so that's on the market. And I'd like to remind you that the value of these buildings is based on a 5% vacancy rate. And many of them are empty. All right, building versus buying. Many people say home prices are going to fall even more. I say homes are selling for less than their replacement cost. There is no room for them to fall more. Now, to be fair, there is less. This is the cheapest piece of vacant land in the city at $299,500. But vacant land in the city is very, very, very difficult to find. So you're more likely going to buy a cheap house and tear it down. But you could get lucky. There's this piece of land, $327,000. You don't have to tear down anything. But let's go with the tear down because likely you're going to have to tear down or renovate or something. So $320,000, tear down is about $50,000. So now you're at $370,000. How much does it cost to build a house in Ontario? The bare minimum cost, according to this article, is $130 a square foot. Let's go with 1,000 square feet. So that's $130,000. Plus the $370,000, you're at $500,000. And it fluctuates depending on what you're putting into the house, like the quality of the finishes, how much is finished, etc., etc. But let's just go with the bare minimum, which is probably not what anyone's going to build. Still, land, tear down the house, build a new house, $500,000, that's likely the minimum. What can I buy for less than $500,000? You can buy this mid-century 1,000 square foot house with all this property. It's got a garage and it's got a pool. That pool, the replacement cost in that pool is about $130,000. That garage, 50, 60 grand. The pool house, the back here, that's probably about 20 grand. Even if you manage to find a vacant piece of land like this, you paid, let's say $330,000 for it, you put a house on it for $130,000, you're at $460,000. Like that cost to build doesn't include the pool or the garage, right? Like you can get this for almost the same price, but you get a pool and you get a garage and you get the pool house and you get this huge lot. Like you're just way better off. As evidenced by properties like this, you can find homes across this country that are currently selling for less than their replacement value. There's no room for home prices to fall. All right, lastly, the war on wage growth, and I'll try and make this short. Powell says that there is still not enough evidence that it's time to cut interest rates. What is he looking at? Wage growth. Wage growth is up 1.5% when adjusted for inflation. The CPI is up 21.1% since pre-pandemic, but wages are up 23.1%. The thing is, people need food, water, shelter, clothing, and employment more than anything else. So yeah, wages in the US are up 23.1%, but property prices are up 54%. The green line is the CPI. The blue line is rent CPI. Rent CPI has outpaced CPI for the better part of 20 years. As of April, rent was up 5.4%. If the rent outpaces CPI for 20 years, but the wages are pretty much on pace with CPI for 20 years, it's becoming more difficult to live. You don't have enough money to pay for shelter. Since COVID, food at home has jumped 24.6% or more than wages. Now, they always like to remind people that food that you order out has gone up even more because of labor. But Buffy, how am I going to feed myself? If the slaves cost more money, who is going to prepare me my food? Yeah, I don't give a shit what food costs when you go out. That's a luxury. Somebody's working on your behalf. If you don't like it, don't go out. Food's a basic need. You should know how to prepare it.